Here we are at the Isaac Casino. Excited to be back. Doing some banter. Our screen region is good. The randomizer knows no bounds. It's been very kind to me today. It gave me regular Judas Lamb and then Tainted Forgotten Mega Satan. Wonderful time. Now, Tainted Lilith to the Lamb. As the arbiter of the casino, that's very nice for me because it's a fun run. However, it's a bit spooky because you know that we're gonna have like a lot of believers because it's an easy kind of run, but that creates some risk. I do need to say as well, like I was watching Dan. He had a 42% chance of getting an angel deal. No, sorry, he had a 52% chance of getting an angel deal. He did a channel point bet, will we get an angel deal? The odds were 38-62. So I bet on the 38 because there's actually like a 48% chance he wouldn't get one. And I was like, sick arbitrage, this is incredible. And then he got one. That's a great lesson in bankroll management, I think. Was there arbitrage to glean on the bet? Yes, but with a sample size of 1, you can't be going all in that situation. Anyway. Let's see. Okay, so we're Tainted Lilith to the Lamb. That's like as easy as it can be. I'm realizing now that we have like a thread from yesterday that I didn't finish. When we were playing Apex, Dan asked me my thoughts on gambling, and I got into some spiciness. It doesn't work. And then I never finished it, but all I was gonna say, in case you were watching, that doesn't work either, huh? Was like, you know, all vices are kind of bad in their own way. And all vices can probably be good. Or not, let's not say good, but they can be okay if you know your limit and stay within it. But gambling scares me because I feel like if you're... It's not that you can't destroy your life with other vices, but I think it takes like more than a few hours, you know? For the most, unless you have, obviously, like I don't try to make it super dour, but if you have like an overdose or something, obviously that's a different story. But like if you're, you know, if you drink too much, you can screw your life up completely, I'm sure. But it's probably going to take you like a couple of months minimum. Whereas I feel like if you get addicted to gambling, you could lose your life savings in like a single night. Which that's what scares me about gambling. But anyway, that's not to bring things down from the very start of the episode. But I guess on the other hand, it is one of the vices that doesn't necessarily have an immediate impact on your actual physical health. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't do it. But that's, again, it's not like I feel superior for not doing it. It's, I feel lucky that for whatever reason, the part of my brain, or the part of someone's brain that is like, oh, this is so much fun. For me, I'm just like, I lost, you know, $100. I feel like a piece of shit. So I'm thankful for that, I guess. Okay. We do this. We bet a little. It's good enough. With 0.85 speed, I'll take that. How was Scary Movie 6? I'll have you know I haven't even gotten through Scary Movie 4 yet. Did anybody watch Scary Movie 4 after I talked about how Dr. Phil really gives his all? No, absolutely not. No, never. I mean, I'm not saying that Dr. Phil did a good job. He's overacting to the extreme. All I'm saying is that, I mean, Dr. Phil goes for it so hard. In the intro to Scary Movie 4, that if I didn't already find him to be a dubious quack to begin with, I probably would now, because I'd be like, you're definitely trying to be an actor. You're trying to be a celebrity more than a doctor. Like, he's going for it, man. I was trying to think about it yesterday because I've been thinking about scary movies so much. I was like, I wonder if I've seen scary movies, as in the franchise. Okay. I wonder if I've seen scary movies more than I've seen horror movies. Like, I think it's possible that between all of my rewatches of Scary Movie 1, which I probably saw like 25 times as a kid, and Scary Movie 2, which I probably saw like 10 times as a kid, I wonder if I've seen more Scary Movie movies than I've seen scary movies. I'm going cross-eyed a little bit, but I could probably do the math, but it would just be irritating. Instead, I just prefer to think about it. Just prefer to fantasize, I guess. And someone asked about Scary Movie 3. I gotta say, it's substantially better than 2. I was wrong as a child, but here's what I think happened, okay? I saw Scary Movie 2 when I was like 12 or 13, and I saw Scary Movie 3 when I was 14 or 15. And I feel like Scary Movie 3 is like this much better than Scary Movie 2. But as my intelligence as a 12-year-old was like here, and my intelligence as like a 15-year-old was like here. So the gulf between the quality of my brain and Scary Movie 3 at the time was larger than the gulf between the quality of the two movies. And as a result, I tricked myself into believing that Scary Movie 3 was worse, when in reality, I think I was just a little bit more mature than the movies were different. I consider that analogy acceptable. And solve for X, yeah. No, 3 is Science, 4 is War of the Worlds, so I'm on War of the Worlds right now. I mean, there's only 2 movies left, right? I gotta finish the fight at this point. We're gonna go deals with the Angel. We're gonna try to, at least. Get me out of here. It's modestly spicy. You should watch There Will Be Blood. I don't have time. I gotta finish the scary movies. I did watch the documentary about... Honestly, screw you, man. I did watch the documentary about the Malice in the Palace last night. That was an interesting watch. The NBA brawl in the mid-2000s that led to Ron Artest jumping into the stands and cold cocking a fan. That was a very interesting documentary. I talked about it a lot in one of the Isaac episodes, probably tomorrow, so I won't dredge it too much. I am glad to see so many people saying, though, that the fan had it coming. Because it's funny, I was like 15 when it happened. And the narrative in the media was definitely like, oh, these spoiled NBA players, like, oh, they got a little mad, and then the tension spilled over, and they assaulted the people who pay their salary. You watch the documentary, and you're like, nah, the dude, like, threw a beer at him when he was on the court. And then the fans started rushing the court. They, like, jumped the half-boards and, you know, they started trying to square up with professional athletes. And you're like, come on, man, are you stupid? Like, you're like 9 beers deep at a Detroit Piston game. You work as, like, a parking lot attendant. You're going up against somebody that it literally, like, you know, does sports for a living. Are you insane? You're gonna lose that fight. Are you dumb? He did punch the wrong guy. So there is that. But then, oh man, if you watch the documentary, the interview with the fan who threw the beer, he's like, you know, so unrepentant. He's like, I would do it again. No doubt, all the NBA players have like some gravitas about it because they faced real consequences. And the fan is like, I'm just happy he got the wrong guy. And I'm like, wow, you're like a piece of garbage. And then the other guy in the documentary that he rushed the court and then got punched in the head. And he is like, with 20 years of age and wisdom to reflect on the event, his only takeaway is like the Detroit Pistons didn't do... They betrayed a loyal fan by not standing by him. You're like, man, Some people, like, just genuinely, like, hit an age and just stay there, huh? Like, no introspection whatsoever. Like, you really thought the sports team was gonna be like, oh, you've come to a lot of basketball games, like, sure, we'll let you, like, assault the players. Hey, keep in mind, the players, they're on the away team, man. Absolutely. I mean, if they were gonna punch somebody on the home team, absolutely not. But the away team? Come on. Have you considered that he committed a crime, but he was a loyal fan? Anyway, I would recommend it. Even if you don't, I mean, like me, I don't really watch basketball or follow it, but if you're around my age, the Malice of the Palace, it was like, they played it on ESPN every day for like 2 years, and then after that, like once a week forever. Don't care for you. Yay. Zitai Heronisa, thank you. For the gifted subscriptions, thank you. We're just going to the lamb. I'm a believer in broken modem. Our donation machine has been very nice. It's in a good spot. Let's take advantage of that. How do you set mod descriptions to go away? I have no idea. Like, it just happens. The mod, they just inject code on a daily basis, and I just go with it, man. Whoops, I forgot we're not skipping over any cutscenes here. F2? I don't believe that I've hit F2, but, you know. So that's my night, basically. That and that pseudo-viral tweet about how stupid the Metaverse is. It's funny because people have asked me in chat, what is the Metaverse? And I've never answered because I thought it was like a conceptual thing. Like, I thought when Facebook was talking about creating the Metaverse, it was like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or something. Like, it was a construct of interconnected apps and services that, you know, you stay in the same ecosystem. Then I realized, no, it's literally like VR chat. It's not like a high-minded ideal. It's like, it's literally just like a virtual world. It's PlayStation Home. I will say, I have been wrong before. Have I talked about recently? Because I've talked about everything in my life many times. But have I talked about recently that I didn't believe that the smartphone could possibly take off? Like, it made no sense to me. And obviously, in hindsight, it's an incredibly stupid take. But at the time, it wasn't just me. There were lots of people who will probably tell you now that they were like, oh, I bought in right away. But at the time, it was like, hey, we already have phones. We already have computers. Combining them? Like, I've never picked up my home phone and been like, what's the weather? You know? I just didn't... I couldn't see far enough ahead to imagine a world where that made sense. Also, it was in the era, and I was younger for sure, but it was in the era where, like, the phones were being miniaturized. Like, everybody wanted a small phone. So you're like, what are you gonna... You know, you're gonna have a calculator on a phone that's the size of a postage stamp? I don't think so. And then they started getting bigger, and I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense. You can watch TV on it. I get it. But the Metaverse, I'm not a believer. I'm actually a believer that every form of remote communication gets worse the closer it gets to real-world communication for most purposes. Like, oh, okay, we got something here. I want the most, and there's an exception here. Like, if you're talking to, you know, your family, you're happy to have FaceTime. Maybe you'll even happy to be in a situation where you can, like, virtually hang out or something like that. But 95% of my communication online is not that. It's responding to like business emails and stuff like that. And the more personalized that is, like the more it looks like human contact, the worse it is. I already don't want to hop on a voice call. I certainly don't want to hop on a Zoom and have to make sure like I look presentable and am pretending to stare at you while you talk. I want almost everything to be handled by text if possible. And even when it comes to text, I would rather it be handled by email where I could just not reply until I find it convenient, as opposed to like... Oh, that was just terrible. As opposed to like instant messaging where you would have a tendency to think that you should reply right away. So the more akin to real life that it gets, the less into it I am. And but I do need to admit that the more I talked about it in this Isaac episode, that you're going to be like, oh, it's duplicate content now, the more I'm like, you know, there's some circumstances where I could see it being functional. Like, I think the one that I thought about was like remote learning. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be putting kindergartners in the Oculus Rift, but I definitely feel like as a university student or something, like, it would, or even as like a professor, it would be way easier to teach in VR than it would be to just teach on Zoom. Like, that seems annoying. But for business meetings, I'm like, man, mess off with that. We don't need that. You want to be like admonished by your boss because you didn't turn your head towards him when he was speaking in the Metaverse meeting, so he thinks that you're not paying attention or whatever. Like, it's too much. I've been wrong about things before. I'm really just putting a lot of hot takes out into the ecosystem and then, you know, daring the universe to prove me wrong. You guys know, like, anybody here a big buyer in the digital real estate space? Could you explain to me why? Or like the digital clothing, where if somebody is looking at you through the AR on their phone, they can see you wearing like the newest Balenciaga. But if they look at you in real life, you're simply wearing last season's Supreme. These are real things. I could be wrong. This could be stuff that pops off. That's not my expectation. Like whenever I read a story about somebody paying like $15,000 for a virtual house that you can only access via the camera on your phone, I am really like, first off, like, it's not real, but maybe I'm a boomer. But then secondly, the second thing I think of is Tower Unite is like $10, man. You could just buy Tower Unite and then set up your virtual penthouse. And then you could watch TV in your virtual penthouse in Tower Unite. Like, why are you... Wow, it sucks that we're out of this floor, but... You know what? Maybe we can find secret rooms, actually. Yeah, why don't you could just build a cool house in Minecraft or something, but... Again, I might be missing... Maybe I'm missing something. It wouldn't be the first time that it's happened. But I take solace in the fact that, you know, if people find this video in the future and go, look at how wrong this guy was... I would feel totally fine just owning it, you know? I'd be like, you got me. I was wrong. I couldn't see the future. You probably couldn't either, but with the benefit of hindsight, you're going back and you're being like, look at how wrong this guy was. Hey, at least I put my opinion out there, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Get Eraser, erase a boss. If Delirium turns into that boss, they will be killed instantly. Something, something, something profit. Does it actually work like that? Jay, if I'm digitally homeless in 5 years, I hope you let me stay in your digital penthouse. I don't know if you've got one, but I hope that you would give me a place to stay. What a disaster, man. I mean, you already built me a house in Minecraft, so I'm asking for a lot. You know what? We go into the the Eddie room. What a weird secret room location. I don't respect the eraser that much, honestly. I mean, I guess for 15 cents, erasing some annoying enemies would be nice. Yeah, wait, that's true. I paid you for it. We're even. What are you trying to do? I'm just trying to, like, get some leverage on this floor. Like, maybe get enough red hearts to play the blood bank, to get blood bag, to get some HP. I did pay Jay his diamonds. I did a stream, the last Dadcraft stream I've ever done, hither to this point, was to get enough diamonds to pay Jay back. It's coming back. Malv's keeping the lights on. I don't even recognize Minecraft anymore. Like, I turned in the other day, or tuned in the other day, and he, like, he wanted to go somewhere in the game, so he just, like, looked at the ground and clicked his mouse and flew 300 feet in the air, and I was like, what the heck is... Because it's not even modded, it's like vanilla Minecraft. I'm like, you can do that now? Whoop. You're tempting me into erasure here, but I'm definitely more looking at erasing the yellow spiders that annoy the crap out of me. No. Oh, thank God. More Eternal Hearts appear. Source, dude, just trust me. Those occur 2 times a run? Yeah, but they're annoying. Oh, you know what? These guys are annoying enough. I think I just erased the body. That's frustrating, but I guess it's better than nothing. Bit of a rip-off, but that's okay. Next floor, we can erase the head, yeah. I actually forgot you could use it once per floor. No, thank you. Dude, this is no joke. I mean, it's 81% belief, 19% doubt. I fully think we're gonna win this run, but this is probably one of the worst Tainted Lilith runs I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not used to being this weak as Tainted Lilith. I'm not used to having this little HP as anybody, really. But it is fun, regardless. Until you get telefragged. Oh, actually, you moved 1 picopixel at the exact wrong moment? Speed up. I guess you can't subdivide a pixel. That's more of a J question, though. Anyway. It's like the VR metaverse space, it's like the same as NFTs to me, right? Where I'm like, people talk about how it's got like all these awesome like practical implications or applications for the future that make it inevitable that it's going to become super popular. And I'm like, that all sounds great. Why is like the only application that I see people trying to trick me into buying 16-bit monkey profile pictures for like 35,000 US dollars? Like, where's the smart contract? And why is all the whole NFT space right now is just like, you know, at least from what I see on Twitter, is just people trying to like trick me into getting involved in a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, like I'm okay being late. If it ends up being like very valuable later or something, I'm okay being like, you know, not the first 5% of the party. I can wait for the meteoric rise, if it comes, to guarantee that it comes, and then interface with it then, I suppose. Does Nun's Habit work with Eraser? I don't know. I doubt it. I'm just not that sold on Eraser to begin with. Even at its best, it's like, it's just okay, I think. Dull Razor will work with Bloody Lust, though. Ain't that the truth? Okay. That's a bit of a slap in the face, but hey, with golden chests, we can... Oh, you know what? Give the keys... I'll take it. But give the keys to the key beggar. Maybe he could pay out... Oh, never mind. Hero's Medallion. Damage upgrade. You love to see it. Get crapped on. Yeah, I'm not... I mean, again, like, I'm saying things. React Court has opened my eyes to, like, people disagreeing with you or saying you have a bad take is not the end of the world. So I feel, like, way more emboldened to just say my, my honest opinion about stuff like this. Knowing that, like, if people are like, we'll show you one day that that's wrong, I'll be like, okay, when it happens, then I'll be like I was wrong. Dull Razor. Replace Anarchist Cookbook, I think. So, like, the thing with like, the NFT, like, genius, like, profile images and stuff like that, is that I'm not saying that it's stupid because I think that it's a bad investment. Because, honestly, like, if you buy it for $10,000 and then you sell it for, you know, 50, I'm not going to say, I mean, it might be a bad investment that turned out well, or it might be a good idea in the first place. However, I'm going back for Nun's Habit. Don't sweat it. I'm saying it's silly because I think they look bad. But I'm not trying to get a bunch of orangutans riding motorcycles in my Twitter mentions for saying it. Yeah, it's similar to, like, the PUBG item principle for me. So let's see. Don't if you're an NFT guy, don't worry about me. I'm not out there being like, you know, there's absolutely nothing of value associated with these. Just please stop asking me what my opinions on CryptoPunks are if you don't want the honest answer. Owns. You took my charged key and gave me a battery? Rip off. I mean, I guess I'm happy he only laundered the key. What am I doing? I don't mind losing the key. You gotta use that. There you go. There's a weird run in here that kind of works. Dude, yeah, what if I could erase Key Beggar? I will say, here's the one thing, because I enjoy the spicy part of the take, right? For all the, like, oh, that was Eraser working at its finest. For all the, like, the fact that I don't fully get, like, NFTs and stuff like that, I do get NBA Top Shots, which is not to say I would ever buy any, but they're fundamentally not that different from sports cards, you know? The same way you could look up a Tayshaun Prince block on YouTube, even though somebody owns the Top Shot, you can look up a picture of, like, Martin Brodeur's 1992 rookie card, but if you own it, it carries a little bit of value. But the only other thing I would say is that rather than this making me think that, like, Top Shots are cool for me, what it instead has illuminated for me is that I've broken the spell of sports cards on myself. Where instead of being like, oh, the Top Shots, this is such a good item. Instead of being like, oh, the Top Shots are valid, I'm actually like, oh, you know what? Actually, sports cards are just not for me in the first place. after like 20 years of collecting them on and off. Okay, hold on. Let me let Tomo out of here. Also, apparently, welcome Tomo. Apparently, one of the companies involved with I'll try. One of the companies involved with Top Shots is based in Vancouver, so actually they're cool. I think they own now. I think it's our second, like, multi-billion-dollar tech company after Hootsuite, which allows you to schedule Facebook posts. Come on, man. Let's go. Isn't that the same as Magic cards? Yeah, but that's not like the own that you would think it is, I think. Because the worst part of Magic for me is that like the game is good, but the Magic like EV and finance people just, I found that to be like one of the more annoying parts of the hobby. Yeah, I can't believe we got a confessional payout. That's pretty rare. What do you mean by that? Well, I mean, like, I thought the game was, like, Magic, the game is awesome. And I understand that, like, Wizards of the Coast, they got, like, they have a solemn responsibility, and this is not a joke. You know, local game stores rely on there being a healthy secondary market, basically, in order to exist. And then it's symbiotic. By those places existing, Magic also grows its profile because there's a place where you can actually like play the game against like-minded individuals. So it's kind of like there's a symbiosis. It's commensalism, sure. Well, no, not really. I guess it is literally symbiosis, unfortunately for the meme. But it does also suck that, like, if you want to play, I guess you could proxy into paper Magic, but like if you wanted to play with some of the coolest cards ever made, you know, the real copies would cost you like, I don't know, what does a Black Lotus go for now? Like $50,000? $25,000? Like $10,000? It's less than I thought it was, honestly. And to me, like, again, I don't really, I have an opinion. It's not really like a strong opinion, like, oh, those people should all like eat it or whatever. But I think like it sucks in some ways. We're going to the lamb. We're going to the lamb. We're going to the lamb. Okay, doubters, I apologize to you. Rip to you, but we're just built different. Yeah, take me down. I think it sucks that like sports cards are different because you don't play with the cards, I think. Like it doesn't hamper or hamstring the actual game itself. With Magic cards, it to some degree compromises your ability to play the game due to the finance aspect of it. But I was more of a mechanics guy when I was briefly into Magic than a finance guy for sure. Dude, Eraser once per floor, I was totally, like, wrong, by the way. It's actually kind of great. As long as you get it early enough. Spoken like a true blue deck, Andy. I was a red-blue guy. Not red versus blue. Tell me you should have Perthrowed without telling me you should have Perthrowed. Unidentified. We got a speed upgrade anyway. Yeah, take me down. Standard format MTG is cheaper than YuGiOh. Yeah, but I mean, that's like... I mean, admittedly, I'm not familiar with the YuGiOh ecosystem. But I feel like that's not necessarily like a defense of Magic. Like, they could both be expensive. And, I mean, I honestly, again, it's kind of, you know, guy who makes a living doing his hobby is like, other people shouldn't be able to speculate doing their hobby. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've given up on the delusion that I can just be, like, indefensibly right about everything. I would rather just, you know, say it and then talk it out, you know? I got lots of bad Magic opinions. Like, I don't like Commander. Shit takes too long. People are in romantic love with their decks and expect you to feel the same way when they, like, go infinite on you. And then they're like, my Teferi does this, which causes a trigger on my enchantment, which causes a trigger on my Teferi, which causes a loyalty token to spawn. I spend the loyalty token to get 1 mana of any color. I put that on the float, which causes Teferi to get a trigger. And, like, it just... You're like, okay, so, like, for 4 of us... I got eliminated 7 seconds into this Commander game, and then it went on for 4 hours, because we got 2... like infinitely powerful wizards just like doing this over and over, and you're expected to watch them. Oh wow, amazing! Can you? Yeah. Anyway, Look, I apologize. That's what I'm saying. It's healthy. You can realize you disagree with the streamer, and yet still enjoy their content, and I can disagree with some people in chat and still respect that they're coming from a different place. We will go down to Shoal. Don't apologize for being right. Down to Shoal. Down to Shoal. That's correct. Down to Shoal. Down to Shoal. Like, that's why I liked Standard, and I know that's like sacrilege, but I liked Standard because at least like it was over quickly. Most of the time. Like, I'm more of like a... If I have a board game night, I don't want to play like one round of one super long board game like that. I want to be like let's play, you know, 2 games of Sushi Go. Then maybe we could play like a game of Machi Koro. Maybe like, you know, some people will eat dinner. The rest of us will play like 1 game of Catan or something like that. And then go home. I always want a board game night to end before I find myself being like looking at my watch and like, oh, there's like 17 more turns of like Motainai or whatever left, and like, but it's just different strokes for different folks. If you love Commander, like, more power to you. We're not fighting Mega Satan, right? Why do I have this key? I do this every time. I always get the key, even if there's like 0 chance for more angel deals, and then I go like, what am I doing down here? We actually, I don't mean to give the doubters too much hope. There's a loss baked in here, believe it or not. I don't think the odds are high, but we are hemorrhaging some HP. If we get like a Satanic Bible deal with the devil, it's over for you though. Like you're done. Not good. Could be good actually. That's tough because it's great, but might be too late. Not good enough. So I think you take False PhD because it can give you HP in particular. I'll take the damage upgrade there. That's nice. Then I'll per throw the rest. I forgot that it doesn't per throw devil deal items, unfortunately. I wish it did. Number 1's like it's close. Close but no cigar right now. It's not how a racer works, huh? What about when you have a board game night and you play a new board game? It takes hours and then everybody, upon finishing the board game, realizes all the mistakes that they made. Yeah, I mean, that's like so many of the board game nights I've had have been fun because of the people that I played them with. But also frustrating because we'll like, you know, play a game that maybe one of us has played before or nobody's played before. It takes us like, you know, 30 minutes to get through the rules. Inevitably, like, one person won't have the attention span to, like, just be quiet during the rule reading, and as a result, it takes twice as long. And then another person, while doing the rule reading, starts asking hyper-specific questions that you couldn't possibly know the answer to. Like, say if I was in the movement phase and I had a free coupon card that allowed me to take an action. I know you can never take an action before a movement, but could I take an action before a movement if I had the card? And you just gotta politely be like, I don't fucking know, man, because we bought this like 2 days ago. And also, like, the odds of that happening are low enough that I'd rather you just bring it up, like, when it happens, instead of, like, concocting the hypotheticals in your head. And then, like, you know, it takes you twice as long as expected to get the game started, and then you start playing for a little bit, and you're like, actually, like, we gotta go. We got work in the morning. So I'm a believer in two different like board game ways, or board game night etiquettes. One is play relatively easy board games that everybody already knows the rules to, or you can teach them in like under 10 minutes, or by watching one game, and then let's go. The other one is if you go through the pain to learn a board game, then you don't just say, now that we've learned that, next night we have to move on to something else. You say, it's a great item for us there. You say, okay, now that we've learned how to play Dead of Winter, we're going to play Dead of Winter like once a month for the next 2 months so we can actually get some gameplay instead of exclusively being in like, you know, because sometimes it feels like a university programming course, right? Like, you get an hour-long lecture, you get to play for 5 minutes, and then you're like, okay, see you tomorrow to try something new. But if people, I understand, like, if you're super into, like, once a month for 2 months, you're right, that is 2 times. Fair enough. Hey, but there's a lot of board game nights I've done, learned a game, and then never played it again. And as a result of that, like, I don't know how to play the game anymore. Like, anytime I play it in the future, I gotta relearn the rules over again. Even though the first time we played it, I didn't even get to play because we spent the whole time just learning the rules. That's why I'll never, like, if we're having a board game night, like, if nobody's got, like, something quick and agile that they can, like, duck into, duck out of. Oh, we're going for frickin' broke, man. Then I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even sweat just playing, like, some Clue. I wouldn't even worry about playing Clue or Battleship or something. I mean, there's superior games, don't get me wrong. But, dude, this run ended up being, like, Pog City. I would not like to do a victory lap. And you know what? We appreciated some items we've never appreciated before, particularly Golden Razor and regular Eraser. Anyways, to put a bow on it, if you want some good board games, you play for board game night with your friends and you're sick of like the 3-hour period, Machi Koro is a really good one. It's basically it's like a city builder in digital form. It takes like half an hour to play. I'm trying to think of what else we got here. Splendor it's a little bit DAE, but the rules take 5 seconds to learn. You could play 10 games in an hour, probably like 3 games an hour once you get going. Mysterium, that's a classic. Mysterium's a great one. Even Clank is like somewhat complicated, but you know, it could take you, after you play one game, you're like, I want to play it again, and it takes like an hour. But Clank, people always say like, oh, Clank is easy to learn, and I'm like, Clank is like right at the limit of like the complexity of a board game that I want to play. When people start to hit me with when the rule book is like a hard copy or a hardcover, I'm like, if I have a trip sitter that can walk me through it, that's one thing. But if we all try to learn this together, like, we're gonna be miserable or here forever. I almost just raided Kate. 48 minutes into the stream. Okay, slash marker, Casino 1.